Ukraine's president appeared during a recorded message at the Grammy Awards last night, saying more than 400 kids have been injured in the war and more than 150 killed. WYMT's Dakota Makris talked to a University of Kentucky instructor for the latest on the war and if we could see Russia start to pull back.
Russian troops are pushing back from Kyiv. Experts say the Russians are conducting a fighting retreat.
And largely they have cleared the Russians away from the vicinity of Kiev, and so the capital region is now almost wholly occupied by the Ukrainians.
Senior lecturer Dr. Robert Farley at the Patterson School of Diplomacy and International Commerce at the University of Kentucky says Russians are reinforcing the southern region.
I think they're concerned the Ukrainians might be able to push them out of Kherson, and so it looks like they've moved some troops down there.
Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky was on CBS's Face the Nation on Sunday, saying he believes Russia committed genocide. Officials found more than 400 civilian bodies either shot, burned, and some with their hands behind their backs. Experts calling what happened an atrocity.
Genocide has a very specific definition, and what's happening right now in Ukraine does not meet that definition. It's about the annihilation of a people in whole or in part.
Making an appearance at the Grammys, President Zelensky shared a powerful message with the viewers and audience, asking for support and not staying silent.
This is an international event that has remained at the forefront of American news for 5 or 6 weeks, and that's incredibly unusual for something that happens in foreign policy.
Dr. Farley says he is impressed by how well Ukraine has handled the war. Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News.
President Joe Biden said Vladimir Putin should face war crimes for the alleged atrocities in Ukraine.
Continuing to see clouds push into the mountains this afternoon and evening, and we get plenty more where those came from as we head through the next few days. Outside right now, Mountain Parkway at Slade, all is overcast out there at the moment. Same thing along Interstate 75 as you head out toward the London area. Plenty of showers on the way, but first those clouds. Low to mid 60s out there, so it hasn't been a bad feeling day outside. We've been not too far from normal. Now, already seeing some spots dip into the upper 50s. Irvin's at 59, as is Logan. It's 54 in Moorhead. So some areas not quite seeing as much warmth moving in as others. And we continue to see the potential for a few of those showers pushing in mainly to our far southwestern communities into portions of the Cumberland Valley, but a lot of that's not reaching the ground. Some of it may be reaching the ground as some sprinkles, but we don't have a whole lot of juicy air in place just yet. So we are still looking at the potential for those showers working in a little bit later on. Upper 40s and low 50s tonight with those scattered showers off and on as we run through the rest of tonight. I'll have the very latest on when more showers and even some strong to severe thunderstorms push into the region coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Thank you, Evan. A hero's honor. Today, Boyd County paid their respects at the funeral of 24-year-old Corporal Jacob Michael Moore of Catlettsburg. The young Marine was killed in a NATO training exercise in Norway 17 days ago. His alma mater, Boyd County High School, hosted the services where other Marines, law enforcement, first responders, former teachers, family, and friends gathered to pay tribute. His mother, Michelle, shared some of her favorite memories and also thanked the community for loving them and supporting them during this incredibly difficult journey.
And this community has shown such an outpouring of love for Jacob that will forever change my life. Many of you have never even met my son, yet you've showered love and kindness over us that I could never repay.
Two Ospreys, the aircraft Jacob flew in overseas, sliced through the sky overhead as services continued at the Kentucky Veterans Cemetery in Grayson, where Jacob will be laid to rest. On Monday, a post was shared on the Elliott County Fiscal Court Facebook page saying multiple road signs had been stolen in the area. Officials said moving forward, the county will be putting up cameras in several locations to collect information on people stealing signs. They said they would be looking at felony charges for people stealing them. If you have seen anyone stealing signs, you can call the judge executive at 606-738-5826 or the Elliott County Sheriff's Department at 606-438-5422. A Facebook post from the Floyd County Sheriff's Department says several people in that area are reporting getting a call from someone claiming to work for the power company. The scammer is telling folks a payment needs to be made immediately or they will lose service. The post said the calls have been traced and are not attached to a real utility company. Officials say you should not give out personal information on the phone unless you are certain of who you are talking to. Typically, the flu season runs from about October to February or March, but the pandemic seems to be changing that. Parts of eastern and southern Kentucky are seeing a spike in flu cases, most notably in Pike County, where the most recent data shows 46 new lab-confirmed cases. Health officials say the actual number of cases is probably higher because not everyone confirms their illness with a test.
So that places Pike County in the second highest level of influenza confirmed cases in the state of Kentucky.
Health officials say last year we saw very few flu cases. Masking, hand washing, and more people staying home when sick means that cases remain historically low this year despite the potential late season surge. Governor Andy Beshear reports that COVID cases are staying very low, at least for now. The state reported 943 new cases this past week, bringing our case total to more than 1,286,000. There were 135 new deaths, though, putting the Commonwealth's death toll at more than 14,000. The weekly positivity rate is now below 2% at around 1.97%. All but 6 counties in Kentucky are now in the green, with Clay, Knox, Laurel, Whitley, Robertson, and Harrison counties the only yellow ones, according to the CDC. You can always find the latest COVID-19 information on our website at WYMT.com. The University of Kentucky set a weekly testing requirement for students and employees who are vaccinated against the coronavirus is ending. News outlets cited an email from UK President Eli Capilouto in reporting that the move on Monday comes amid high vaccination rates at the school and lower rates of the virus on campus and in the Lexington community. Data shows UK's vaccination rate was more than 92% as of March 30th, and the school had only 5 active COVID cases. A hearing on redistricting in Kentucky will get underway tomorrow. Republican leaders drew up maps earlier this year. Democrats accused the GOP of unconstitutional gerrymandering and filed a lawsuit. Both sides will be in court tomorrow. Arguments are expected to last through much of the week. Governor Andy Beshear has raised more than $1 million this year for his re-election campaign. The campaign also reported record-breaking fundraising for the last quarter of 2021. They say the governor has raised more than $2.4 million in just 6 months. Kentucky's gubernatorial election will be held next year. State Auditor Mike Harmon has filed to run on the Republican side, with lots of talk of several other Republicans possibly getting in the race. Officials said the Daniel Boone National Forest has reopened a campground that was damaged by severe flooding in 2019. Forest Service officials said in a statement that the fully renovated Bee Rock Campground in London opened to the public Friday. The move comes after a partial reopening late last year. Officials said the campground was completely rebuilt during the last 3 years and features new tent pads and fire rings at all campsites. The historic Sublimity Bridge has also been fully restored. One Magoffin County business owner is opening up a space that he hopes will serve as a time machine to the past with a taste of the future. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has more about the new Kava shop that has been percolating for more than a year.
Pretty soon, the people of Salyersville can sip on something new.
Part of the thing I wanted, and I've had it happen so far, is people walk in and go, wow, this is in Eastern Kentucky, this is in Magoffin County? I'm like, absolutely.
Taking a journey through time to reclaim time lost.
As we become a more technology-oriented culture, we're losing the face-to-face.
Prohibition Coffee opens this month, unveiling a 1920s speakeasy atmosphere, spoken into existence by local entrepreneur Justin Darnell, sharing a wall with his other business, Appalachian Smoke.
I found you kind of need to be a one-stop shop in Eastern Kentucky.
The unique space will host entertainment, incorporate local beans for its coffee, and local baked goods for its confections.
Just a place for the community to come together, and that's not revolved around like grocery store parking lots or alcohol.
But Darnell says this venture is about more than pouring something steamy into mugs. It is about pouring something substantial into Magoffin County.
You have to believe in it. You have to believe in yourself, and you have to work hard. Starting a business is no easy undertaking, and it takes a special kind of person, but like, I think we have those people, and I think those people need encouraged.
Saying whether it means starting a new business or supporting the locals who do.
If you do love where you're from, if you do want to see it grow, a lot of people complain about, Eastern Kentucky in our area, but like, put your money where your mouth is, do something about it.
The future is brewing. In Magoffin County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Looks really nice. Darnell says he also plans to have themed nights to bring in some 20s era costumes and more. But overall, he hopes it will serve as a go-to corner of conversation and coffee. He hopes to be open by April 27th.
Sounds like I'm going to be needing to take a trip up to Salyersville over the next couple of weeks. Warm air filtering into the region this afternoon, and thunderstorms may not be far behind. We got the latest breakdown on the way next.
And it was 40 years ago that a kid from London scored the game-winning shot in the 1982 Boys Sweet 16 Championship. We recently caught up with Paul Andrews to talk about Laurel County's Cinderella season and the shot heard round the world.